It's the Black Top.
All right. What's up, y'all? What's up, kinfolk? Man, we are back. Back for another great week of one-on-one with yours truly, Mike J. Shout out to everybody who's tuning in or will be tuning in to this live. If you can, please share this thing, okay? Also, please give us a subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com /Blacktop TV World. Tonight, it's going to be a special one, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a classic. We're going to have some fun tonight, so I'm excited. So let me not waste any more time. Let me introduce and get my special guest here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to One-on-One with your boy Mike J. And tonight's special guest, this lady here, it's a product, Virginia State University. She's a product of the 804. Man, she is an entrepreneur and amazing mom. She is also out here giving the world spirituality in her own way. Ladies and gentlemen, stumping with the big dog here on the Black Top is the one and only Miss Amber Adair. What's up, baby?
Hi, I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. I'm good. So first and foremost, how's your week going? Everything good?
Yeah, my week's going well.
Word. And you're down there still in the 804,
Yeah,
or have you?
I'm still in Old Town,
Okay.
Petersburg.
Word. So let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, before we get started, for those who are watching, please share this live, ladies and gentlemen. Plus, you can do your boy a favor, send him some stars, because I know y'all tired of my grandmama curtains. Okay, all right, it's all right. So help a brother out. But anyways, here we go. So let's start from the beginning, because I definitely want people to understand what you do and the motivation behind it. So growing up in Virginia, you know what I'm saying? Tell us about that, your family, big family. Tell us about the very beginning of this.
Okay, so beginning of like what journey? Which journey?
Yeah, just when, like, how you grew up, how you were raised.
Okay, well, I'm Amber Wilson, Amber Adair Wilson. I'm from Petersburg, Virginia. I grew up here. I have a big family, but small, immediate family. My mom, my sister, I grew up in a home with them. Mm-hmm. I went to the Appomattox Regional Governor's School, majored in technology. I've always been into like the arts, theater, music, dancing, things of that nature. I attended Virginia State University. I'm trying to think what else I can tell you about myself. I own a hair salon here in Old Town called Adair's. I've had it for 7 years. My spiritual business I've had for 6 years. And I'm trying to think. I'm a mother of 2. I don't know. It's like, I'm camera shy on the low. Like, I'm really camera shy.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like.
I got you. So, like, growing up in your house, was spirituality like a big thing? Like, or were y'all like religious? How did mom raise you?
No, I would say this. Okay, so my grandmother was like a minister or pastor. Mm-hmm. She's had me in the backwoods churches like in North Carolina and stuff like that every Sunday. I had to go to like church, is it Amelia or one of these counties has like a church camp. Mm-hmm. And we used to have to go during the summertime. Like the whole shoe grab all the grandkids up and we had to go to church camp. and it was church 24/7 the whole time you were there. But other than that, my mom wasn't very like strict religious. Like when I was younger, she went to church and things of that nature. But once I got about middle school, she kind of gave me the option to choose like what I wanted to believe. That she didn't really force like going to church on me. Mm-hmm. Once I got to high school, I started researching on my own. Mm-hmm. And that's when I guess you could say my journey, quote unquote, kind of started in high school. I started by like collecting different Bibles and like comparing the text. Then I got to a point where like I kind of grew out of Christianity, and then I became a Hebrew Israelite. And my name was Udaya by Yisrael, and I was passing out like the Willie Lynch letter to all the kids in the cafeteria at the governor's school. Y'all need to get this. Then I got to college, and I grew out of that, and I got to a point where I actually was an atheist, and I didn't believe anything like in regard to religion. And I was relying more so on science. And then science brought me back to spirituality, because science when it comes to indigenous spirituality, I find that it's backed by science. Even though people be like, how is it backed by science? Like, indigenous spirituality is normally backed by science. And then things started making sense even in regards to religion. Right. Once I got to that point, it was like a full circle of believing to non-believing to science bringing me back to believing.
So was it easy for people to support that was around you, like friends?
No, I feel like this journey is kind of like hectic. Like my journey was with any religion or any form of spirituality, there can always be extremists. Mm-hmm. And I've been on like both ends of the spectrum. So I would say that when I came into understanding that I personally did not agree with like the Bible, or like I agree with some aspects of it, but I wasn't like, it wasn't for me. Mm-hmm. It was like a clash. My daddy was the deacon at his church, and I'm talking about, I'm about to cut off all my hair and change my name. It's like, it's like, whoa, what are you doing? Like, you know, like you can't do that. Like I moved out of the house at like 18, 19. Like it was crazy. Like my spiritual journey was kind of like abrupt, but I feel like it was necessary and it was needed for like me. And I feel like I was lucky enough to have family and friends to support my journey. Like, I guess you can say to some I was like the weird girl because of the things that I was into and researching, but like my family never made me feel weird. Like my sister just always looked at me like, I've always been different. Like my sister's always been different. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom always gave me the space. She always used to say, just don't go off on a deep end. Like you can read these books and do whatever you want to do, but just don't go off on a deep end, okay? And they were fine with it. Like I was lucky enough to have people around me who have always supported me.
So how much do you encourage that with raising children yourself? Like
I don't force religion or spirituality.
Okay.
Children are curious. My son goes to church with my mom and his uncles and things of that nature. When he's with me, like he's down there with me making my spiritual baths. I'm talking to him and teaching him from my point of view. Like any questions he has, I try to leave it open for him to see what he believes, if that makes sense. So if he asks me about, for instance, heaven or hell, and I'll ask him, based on what you believe God is, do you believe he would create a place like that? Yeah. And I let him choose. You choose what you believe. It's up to you what you choose to believe. I can't tell him what to believe, but you could do 1 + 1 = 2 and decide on what you think the truth is.
Okay, I like that. So Virginia State University, let's touch that, because that's, you know, you're out the house, you know what I'm saying? Now you're at free, you're on your own, you know what I'm saying? You're on campus, you're experiencing social life. So how was that? Because I mean, being at an HBCU, carrying around that belief in spirituality, like, did people gravitate to you a lot?
So I showed up on campus and auditioned for the dance team. Mind you, right before prom, I cut off all my hair and changed my name. Right. So I showed up to Virginia State for the dance team, which we wear weaves and wigs, and I'm bald headed. And I make the team. And the first thing the coach tells me is that you have to figure out what you're gonna do with your hair. Mind you, back then, natural wasn't the end thing. Like natural was the end. Like back then, I was bold to have done that in high school. And like, it wasn't a cool thing. Like nobody was walking around. I was walking around with a blonde afro this big with bright red lips on campus. Like you knew who I was when you saw me, okay? You knew who I was. I feel like it was embraced though. I feel like my peers, or like I was mainly around the band, my dance sisters, like they respected like my boundaries. I wasn't really partying and doing a lot of that stuff like when I first got to school, because like I told you, I was a Hebrew Israelite, and I actually was spiritually married. So I showed up on campus already. I'm married, boo. I'm married. I'm not out here with these heathens. So yeah, that's how I showed up, and they respected it. But it evolved. Like within like 2 years, I was atheist. So
wow. Yeah. So spiritually married, break that down. Like what?
Basically,
what is?
We said our vows and like things in front of God, and we like everything together, and we just no sign legal papers through the government. But like, yeah, that's how we went about it.
So do you still prefer that now?
No. No.
Okay.
I like at the point I am after getting married legally, I feel like this might sound, people understand marriage is a business. Not in a business in the sense that there's no love there, but marriage is a business. And yeah, you make sure you get a legal marriage.
But see, that's so different because I mean, of course, podcast world and social media world is hearing from a woman's perspective. We don't hear a lot of that. You know what I'm
Here,
saying?
what? Marriage is a business?
Yeah, we don't hear women accept that.
Oh no, I feel like with any relationship that you're dealing with people, whether it's a marriage or a friendship, like whatever, like it's transactional in the sense of like it's a give and take.
Mm.
And that's what, to me, business operates in the same way. Like, so if we're business partners, we got to figure out how we're going to further what we have, how we're going to build what we have. Like, you might not like your business partner all the time, but you still got to get to where you got to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really a business. Like, you got to sit down and what are our goals? What are we trying to do? It's just like a business. Finances, let's talk about that.
So how big of a factor do you believe emotions should play in that?
I think emotions should play. Emotions are important in any relationship, I feel like, because like we're spiritual beings and we operate off of emotion in a sense, if that makes sense. Like emotion is like a currency. So it's like you need to have emotions there because how can I explain it? Emotions need to be there, but emotions play a huge part in it. Unless you genuinely, like, I believe marriage should be between two people who actually genuinely love each other and want to build with each other. But the reality is, when you think about feelings, people change every day. I just told you in 2 years I became an atheist from being a Hebrew Israelite passing out pamphlets. So people, I'm the type of person where if I learn something today, I can wake up tomorrow, and if I learn that what I believe was false, I change what I believe, like with no problem. People change. So if you're basing things on just feelings, and I learned that through my marriage, like you can't base things strictly just on feelings. Like you have to love a person and have that emotion there, that physical attraction or that like chemistry there. But like, yeah, it's beyond emotion. Marriage is beyond emotion for me. But I feel like it plays a huge part in marriage. So, because like love is like even what you would do for a person when you don't like them. And that's emotion. Like I love you, I don't like you, but I love you so much, I'm still gonna make sure you're good. I'm still gonna cook for you, and I'm still gonna do this, and I'm still gonna do that. And so when you think about emotions, it's like it's an iffy thing. Like it's not happy all the time. Like marriage isn't gonna be happy all the time. Sometimes you're gonna be sad, sometimes you're gonna be angry. So emotions play a huge part in it, but like as long as you have that foundation of love, I feel like I'll go ahead and say it. They're Will and Jada love. I've made a post about it. I feel like that's the unconditional love that many people won't get to experience. And a love where like, no matter what, I've chosen to go on a journey with you. Yeah. And good for good or for bad, or no matter what the world thinks, like I see you and you see me and we're going to figure this out. That's like a love that many people would never get to experience. So we can sit and judge it and this and the third, but most of us will never get to experience a love where a person really just accepts you for being you, nothing else. You, flaws and all, you.
And I think a lot of people have a tough time accepting that because it's not conventional. You know what I'm saying? We, especially our culture, we stay in such a lane of belief and what we believe how relationships should carry, or just how life in general, because of that book, the Bible, that you did a lot of studying on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I guess it's foreign for most people to accept what you're saying, because it's just that ain't how life was pictured out for me. I was supposed to be going to the altar for richer, for poor, to death do us part. You know, we supposed to be happy, go lucky, and then to hear people like Will and Jada, you know, being happy just
but
being
I don't even
apart.
think it's that, because the Bible says for better or for worse. So you know there's going to be worse. I think it's things like social media that portrays like this perfection when real life isn't like sunshine and roses. You know what I'm saying? Like TV shows. I'm sorry, there's people in the hallway. They on TV shows and things of that nature, they feed us this false perception of love, like, and it's just not real in regards to like what love should be. Like love, like it's just false. It's just false. Like love, like marriage and relationship is just like any other relationship you have with people. It's going to be ups and downs and working through things. Nothing's perfect, but we're fed that it's supposed to be perfect, or you're not supposed to be cry, or people aren't supposed to make mistakes, or you know, cheat one time, don't forgive him, he gonna do it again. Like it's like no, like, and you have to do things based on what works for you, like what works for you. Like everybody boundaries and what people are willing to accept is different in every relationship. So what might not work for you may work for a whole nother person, and that's fine. Like, he may be a stay-at-home dad over here, and she may make the money. If they work fine and they're happy, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to like mimic what we see on TV. And like, yeah, I think people, and the biggest thing is with, and we go attach to spirituality, we create our own reality. Like, we're actors in our own movie, and every day you wake up, you get to create a new scene for your movie. You get to create the new direction you want to take it in. Like, it's your choice. Everything's your choice. Yeah. Like, you are the director. You're the director. You're the main character. Like, so who cares what other people think? Like, you're creating like your own movie.
So you're a Taurus. So it's like,
no, I'm not. You posted that, and I was like, he needs to learn his astrology.
Wait a minute, hold on. Taurus, wait.
Gemini, baby.
Come on.
Gemini. What? May 25th. I am a Gemini sun, Gemini moon, baby. I'm giving Gemini. I'm Gemini-ing. Yes. My rising sign, Pisces. My rectified chart is Scorpio. I'm a double Gemini. Gemini all day. So when you hit Taurus, I'm gonna let him slide, because according to Vedic astrology, I am a Taurus. When it comes to Western astrology, your girl is a Gemini, okay? Gemini. What? Vedic astrology, I'll give you that. I am a Taurus. But we're in America, baby. This is Western astrology. I'm a Gemini.
That's cool. Okay. All right. Cool. So that makes a lot of sense. Okay, bet.
So, it makes sense. What you trying to say? What are you trying to say? What do you mean?
I ain't say that. I ain't say nothing yet. But you mentioned how, in talks of spirituality, how things change and how things can. So what I thought was being a Taurus kind of contradicts it, because Taurus be stubborn as hell.
Stubborn, they're earth sign, they're very grounded. Like, yeah, they're earth sign. So you like changing like that. No, I'm a Gemini. I'm an air sign. I'm flowing with the wind. That intellect, I want to read and learn and give, like, all of that to y'all. I'm giving y'all extra. Okay. Gemini.
Okay, no wonder. Okay, all right, cool. Because my mama a Gemini.
Yes, I love her.
Okay, that makes sense.
Love her.
That makes sense. So, let's go back to Virginia State now. And I'm tying this into spirituality because one of your passions is dancing, right? Yes. And so, what made you fall in love with dance?
Ooh. These are some good questions. I've never been asked these questions. So when it comes to dance, I've never been formally technically trained, right? So I'm growing up in Petersburg. I'm in the hood. I'm gonna be very transparent. My mom really couldn't afford like dance classes and things of that nature. So like I used to have video VHSs of like Janet Jackson, like choreography. And me and little Play Hargraves used to sit in my living room and learn all the choreography and do all the little talent shows and stuff like that. So then I remember I wanted to actually audition for dance for the governor's school, but my mom didn't feel too confident about it because like I wasn't technically trained and things of that nature. But then when I really fell in love with it, I already was in love with it because I made the dance team in middle school. But when I got to the governor's school and seeing like the theater and kids dancing and like performing, it made me fall in love with it even more. But I've always loved dancing and music, anything dealing with like the arts. I've naturally been drawn to it like naturally. So like it's crazy because I've been a captain of dance teams and a captain of the cheerleading squad, a captain of this or leading things or even I've choreographed like tons of musicals and things. And I literally am not technically trained. Like never been in the classroom other than 1 or 2 at Virginia State.
Wow.
So it was a natural gift that I already had.
So
if you want to talk about astrology, I think it's Pisces. I think it's Pisces and Mars. Pisces rules the feet, action. So it made sense once I started looking at my birth chart. I was like, okay, cool.
I need to send you my birth chart because I need to understand.
Oh, I can help you out. We can talk about that. Figure out where you go, where you're supposed to be going, where you're not supposed to be going. You laughing? It's placements in your chart. Like you can look up it's called give y'all North Node. Your North Node tells you it's like a GPS. It tells you where you should be headed this lifetime, and your South Node tells you energy of where you've been in past lives or energy that you resonate with, and you're trying to grow from it. So I'll give you an example because we're on topic, off topic. my North Node is in Aquarius. My South Node is in Leo. South Node being in Leo means that in a past life, I was in like the spotlight. I was being seen. I might have been somebody who was famous, or like, you get the idea, like could have been a politician, anything. And I naturally draw attention to myself. I naturally have leadership roles. I naturally am in the spotlight. But this lifetime, that's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to help other people, pour into other people, help them find that light within themselves, like humanitarian work and things of that nature. And like, as a child, I struggled with that because I would have to work twice as hard to be seen, even though I was better than everybody in the room. And I was like, I'm better. I used to tell my mom, like, I'm giving 100% and they're giving 50. And she's like, everybody 100% isn't the same. And I would struggle with that. I wanted to be seen, but the more I wanted to be seen, the less I was seen, or the more it affected me in a negative way. And then the more that I backed away and I let other people take the limelight, things started working out for me. And I naturally got leadership positions because I was helpful and I was, willing to teach other people and things of that nature. And even when I was like captain of Virginia State, they'll do interviews. I would never do the interviews. I would get other girls to do it. Or when I made formations, I would put other people in the front and put myself in the back. But it's helped me a lot because this lifetime I can shine and I can do it, but I have to have the right intentions, if that makes sense. So I'm naturally going to shine in a room because I have that South Node in Leo. But my North Node is telling me that I'm supposed to be doing humanitarian work and giving and doing stuff for other people this lifetime. So everybody can look that up, your North Node and your South Node.
So before you were educated on that aspect, where did you get that confidence from before you even knew about your zodiac?
It's a part of you. You're born with it. So I think that, no, you are. So like looking at my birth chart explains things. It's like your birth chart is kind of like a cheat sheet for a character in a game. It's like, ooh, like these are the cheat codes. Okay, I got a cheat sheet to see how she worked, this, that, and the third. So it made sense. But before that, it literally just came natural. Like my natural nature was like, when I feared something, I always went towards what I feared. Like a lion, like a Leo. Like if I'm scared of something, I need to be doing it. Like, it's like, what? Like, that's just who I am. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It came naturally. And my mom too. My mom is very optimistic. She's very like outgoing. She's very creative. And like, she didn't get the chance in her childhood to express herself the way she wanted to artistically with certain things. So anything to this day that I say that I want to do, she's going to back me 100%. And she's that person. So we talk about having like that confidence. It came naturally, but I can say it came naturally through my environment. I was lucky enough to have a very positive environment when it comes to my mom, my sister, people around me. Very positive environment.
Word. So, and shout out to mama. Shout out to mama. Mama's watching right now. Hey, mama. So, business owning. Let's after Virginia State, you're going to entrepreneurship here. And you are the owner of a very, very great and sustainable business down in Petersburg, Adair's. So how much, I know you speak of confidence, but going into business, it's not easy. It's not a cakewalk for some, if not most. So tell us about getting that business started for you. Like, what was the motivation?
You asked me great questions. Okay.
I try.
So we can see this time in spirituality. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in there. So you also have something called a life path number. My life path number is a 4. But it's a 4 by way of a 13. So I have a karmic debt number 13. With a karmic debt number 13, it means that in my past life, things were handed to me. So in this lifetime, I got to get it out the mud. And so with that being said, with my karmic path number 13, I'm just recently come to contact with this information. It's like mind blowing because like it makes things make so much more sense. So I'm like, I've always had to work so hard where like in other situations where people network and people give them handouts. With me, I can have the connection. They can look me in the face and still not and be like, no, I'm not helping. I'm giving it to you. So at the time I was going to start this business, I was going in a partnership with a woman at the time who was my best friend. We had got a actual space that was down on Old Street, down further down. And I just went and bought all the equipment for the shop and things of that nature. And she was going to put the money down for like the first months, the deposit, things of that nature, and we were gonna work together. She was into the spiritual stuff, so she was gonna be selling herbs and stuff in the front, and I was gonna be, we have like the salon with it too. It fell through. I I found out she didn't sign like a lease with the people. She got into it with the man. Like my stuff was stored in one of his facilities, and he was like, "You can come get your stuff." She got her check back, so I'm stuck with like all this equipment at the time. It was enough for like five or six stations. I'm like, what am I going to do with all of this equipment in no space? Like, and so literally, I didn't even have the funds, and I ended up having to take a loan out with two close family members, and like blessings was like they set it up so that I could pay them back whenever. Like that was so like God is good. It was like you can pay me back whenever you get the money to pay me back, and I'm like, that's great. I was walking down this street right here, saw this space. It wasn't even set up for like a salon situation, but I was like, I'm gonna make it work, and I made it work. Like I got the space, I decorated space. My mom actually went thrift shopping with me at the time, and we went and got like different decorations from thrift shops, this and the third, the curtains and stuff. I ordered them offline. Like we got the salon and everything together, but it was a situation where like I could have either quit or push through. And I was forced to push through because I didn't want to give up. I didn't want to be embarrassed because I told people I would have a salon. It would be downtown. It was just so much in regards to getting the salon started. Like it was a lot on me because I was only like 25 at the time. 25, I had my son. I was in grad school, but I did it. And it's 7 years later, we still here. Hope I ain't like I'm babbling.
Talk
but
your
like,
shit. Talk your shit. No, keep going.
No, it worked out though. The situation, it worked out. Like I said, like I looked sometimes like, dang, 7 years went by really fast, like really fast. But it was one of those situations where, yeah, like it was either give up or push through, and I chose to push through.
Yeah. So how do you? I mean, because it's not really easy to sustain because we see a lot of businesses come and go.
No.
You know, and especially like in the hair industry where I don't know if it's really that competitive or not.
It is, but the biggest thing I can say is what I would say that my spirituality actually keeps my clientele. I feel like I have clients who come to me strictly for my energy, the energy that I give them. Like I'm like their therapist. They come to me, they pour their heart out. I'm been with them through the divorces, through getting married, through having kids, buying houses. Like we going through this all together. Like, you know what I'm saying? They like sat in my chair and cried. You name it, it has happened. So I feel like they need answers for spiritual stuff. They don't have it. I take them at my studio spaces downstairs. We go downstairs, like introducing the spiritual stuff or spiritual concepts. I have clients who have spiritual experiences, but they can't get answers other places. And I'm the only person they feel comfortable talking to. So I've created an environment where like my clients are like family. So when I read online when people talk about master this stylish, they show up late and they charging fees and they doing this and that. And I be like, wow, like me and my clients never have those problems because we're human. And I know we're human. If I'm late, I text them and say, hey girl, I'm 5 minutes late. And they be like, girl, it's fine. I'm going to Starbucks. You want something? They bring like, I have a male client who brought his grandson. Now he has 4 grandsons coming to me, his son, and now his wife is coming to me. And he's an older man. Like people like the energy. Like I've now in my salon, it's just me and my mom. I've created a space where it's not no gossip, it's no negative energy. Like so I feel like it's competition out here, but it's enough money for everybody to make money, and everybody has to find their lane. Like I refer clients to other people. Like I don't specialize. I do locks. Don't get me wrong. I specialize in natural hair, but some people specialize in locks, like sister locks and other things. Like I would refer them around the corner. Go to Demetria. She around the corner. She'll hook you up. This and the third. Like I don't have a problem sharing. So I feel like it's sustained because of my energy. Like I'm not trying to hoard the clients or their mind or this and the third. It's like no, like my energy is very free flowing and loving, and I feel like I give and it just comes back.
You know, I think it was you that told me about how hair captures energy.
Yeah.
And so that's dope that you provide that comfort level for them to, you know, because I mean that's a very intimate business.
Yeah, but some people don't think of it that way. So like when I see some stylists and stuff, they treat their clients kind of like, you know, like their number kind of. It's like, it's like no, because I feel like I've had situations where people come in, you do their hair, and like I said, they cry before they leave because they feel that much beautiful. Like they, you know what I'm saying, like really have like changed something for them. Or I have it's almost like a ministry because I have people come in sometimes. I had some crazy situations happen. Like if I told you all the situations that happened in the salon, you're like, that happened? I'm like, yeah, like it's deep, like with so much stuff. But I feel like sometimes God sends people to me,
right? Because
it's something I need to tell them or something they need to hear. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like that's just how it works. So I don't know.
So what what goals are left for the business?
What goes left? What you mean?
Like, is there a next level to it? Are you looking to branch off?
Okay, so for me, I'm like at a crossroads right now.
Okay.
So this is very interesting. Like for me, I'm stuck in a space where I'm like, do I want to combine businesses? Like in a sense of creating a space where people can come, like making herbal shampoos and things of that nature. I work with herbs and things of that nature to like kind of crossbreed the environment of the healing services with the hair. Or
so like a spa.
Or if I just want to stop doing hair altogether. I've been contemplating that for like a year. My goal was by next year to not be doing hair at all. I only got a few more months left. I'm not sure if that's the route I'm going to go, but I'm like stuck because I feel like, yeah, I'm stuck between the two. So that's a hard question to answer because I'm really at a crossroads with doing hair because I'm being pulled more so to do my spiritual business full time. So I'm like at a crossroads, but like, what do you do? What do you do?
It sounds like you want a spa or a resort or something like that.
Well, I may need to do that. Come get some Reiki healing, and then get your hair braided.
Okay, so that was actually my next question because I'm so new to this. So break down, what is Reiki?
Reiki is like energy healing. The best way I can explain it is laying of the hands in church. Same concept. It's just like they give you like a technical terms for it in regards to like the practice, if that makes sense. So when I went and I took Reiki 1 and Reiki 2, and the teacher literally said that like it could be equivalent to like healing of the hands, like using God's source to channel through you to heal other people with your hands. And you literally can like, it teach you how to scan the body. You literally can feel it. Like you can feel the energy, like where energy is built up, where there's blockages in the body. Like you ever rubbed your hands together like this? You was a kid and did like this, and you can feel like that force in between your hands when you like it's really energy in between there. Like you really, the hands are a powerful thing. Like in regard to healing. So basically that's what it is healing of the hands. Reiki is healing of the hands, using the hands to heal. That's for short.
Wow.
That's what it is.
So this and just to be sure, I got it. Like it's nothing compared to like massage therapy or something like that.
Some people do hands-on Reiki, some people don't. Some massage therapists incorporate Reiki. Some people just do Reiki. If you're not certified to be doing massages, don't be massaging nobody. Lawsuit. But yeah, so you can do hands-off Reiki or you can do hands-on Reiki. So yeah, but you shouldn't be doing a massage with Reiki unless you're a massage therapist who's incorporating Reiki into their services.
So if you got injuries, that could be a good thing too.
Yeah, it can detect injuries, and I'm very transparent. I don't mind even saying. Okay, so for instance, when I went for my Reiki 2 certification, I literally had just had a miscarriage, and I had to have a DNC. And so I went to do my Reiki class literally a couple of days later. Like I went or whatever, and it was a Reiki master there who was it was 2 Reiki masters there working with the students, and he scanned my body, and when he got to my wound, he was like, whoa, like there's a lot going on there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I feel a lot of like, blockages, this and the third, blah, blah, blah. And I told him what I just experienced, but it made sense. So yeah, it really helps with things like that. Like they can find injuries and all that stuff like that you might not know of or you might be looking to or all that.
Okay. I might have to sign up, man. I might have to sign up because God knows. Between being in the military and all that stress that's put on the body, and now DJing, you
can do Reiki on yourself. When you learn Reiki, you can actually do Reiki on yourself. Like the process of us learning, you have to do Reiki on yourself, and like so you can get familiar with what it feels like, and then you work on other people.
Oh, work
and document. Yeah.
Okay. Sign me up. I'm in the course.
Or think about when you're a kid and you naturally fall and hurt yourself.
Yeah.
What do people know your parents normally do? Come put their hand on it.
Yeah.
They normally come, it's gonna be put their hand on it and things of that nature. Yeah, same thing. Like, and you think, it just makes the kid feel better because it's like, no, it really makes the kid feel better. Like, it's really channeling that energy through to your child.
That's a real thing. Okay, bet. So, intuitive life coaching.
Yes.
Tell us about that and what got you into that.
Okay. So at first I was shying away from like intuitive life coaching because as humans, I felt like my life's not perfect. How can I coach other people? But the reality is through my own life experiences and things that I've been through and my ability to heal myself and like get through the things that I've gotten through, I take all of those resources through spirituality and life experience, and I help guide other people to get through whatever obstacles they're going through in a spiritual, from a spiritual perspective, put it that way.
Okay.
And that's the best way I can explain it. And it just depends on, like, everybody's spirituality is different, but I am into folk magic and things of that nature. And I approach things from like a science meets spirituality standpoint. So things make sense. But yeah, I really just help people get their energy right and like teach them how to like attract the things they want to attract in their lives, or to change the patterns that they want to change so that they can attract the things that they want to attract in their lives. Because a lot of times it's really us needing to reprogram our subconscious mind, the way we think, the way we believe, and the way we function in our day-to-day life. Yeah.
So you're catering to improving others' mental health, but like,
say that, because I'm not gonna say that. It teeter-totters, because when it comes to things like being, I could call it a spiritualist because it's the best way I can explain it. A lot of people who have mental issues tend to lean towards spirituality, no matter what it is, religion, spirituality, like a lot of things. And there's like a thin line. Life coaching, I'm not a therapist, like a licensed therapist. Like if you need to see a licensed therapist for something, or you need to see a psychologist, like those, I am not that for you, buddy. Like, and, no, seriously, because you see that. I've seen it with work that I do. I mainly do stuff online, but you see, sometimes you're dealing with people, and I like to break things down like scientifically or how things work, because with people, because it's kind of like, you see that a lot. I can just say, you can see people who have they need mental services, lean towards spirituality for answers, but sometimes it can't fix certain things. No.
Wow. So how do you, with all that you do, because I mean, you're pouring out to a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? And even in your business, what you do with, as far as Adair, as far as being a spiritualist. So how do you cater to your own mental health? Because I mean, how do you pour back into you? What are some things you do?
That's a good question. Pouring back into myself, I'm struggling with the work home life balance. If you notice, if you go to my spiritual page, like I haven't really posted a lot on there. So like I was doing that a lot, and then after I had my youngest son, he's 2 now, I literally took like a break from like hardcore spiritual work. I wasn't doing tarot readings, I wasn't doing like any of those things that took away from me energetically, because you can only be pulled in so many directions, if that makes sense. So pouring into myself, honestly, I'm really trying to find that balance of it. I feel like I don't really pour into myself the way that I need to, because I'm such a giver, and I'm like, I pour so much out to other people. I have to like stop sometimes and think like, ooh, what do I need? And lately I just been taking like my weekends, like going out to eat, doing things like that. Like they call it self-care or self-maintenance, like basic things I've been doing to like pour back into myself. I do my spiritual cleansings and things like that to like spiritually like replenish myself. But I really don't have a lot of time for myself. I'm being very transparent. Like I'm a busy person. I'm in the salon, then I'm doing my online business, and then like I have 2 children that I'm working with. One's 10, one's 2. Like when you go through a day of packing orders, making products, like I don't really have a lot of time for myself. No.
Man, yeah, that's a lot of weight to bear.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're strong enough to do it. So I mean, it's
yeah, but I'm learning. Like recently, my motto has been like, I don't believe any of this is real anyway, so I just haven't been tripping and stressing. Kid comes home with a bad grade, I'm like, it's okay, it's fine. I'm not stressing about that. Like I'm just not stressing, because like and I think that might be how I pour into myself. Like I have these come to like God moments where I'm just like, none of this, like a matrix, none of this is real anyway. Why am I stressing about something that's not real? It really is like a game of life. And like stress is like a distraction or like a choice. Like at the end of the day, like it's not real. Like we have anxiety about things that haven't happened, that doesn't exist. And a lot of times we stress about things that we lack, but 9 times out of 10, it works out anyway. You know, you figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yeah. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I completely understand that. So it's like, what do you demand support, or do you like look for support? Is that fair to?
Support from other people?
Just like I mean, family, friends, people
Yeah,
around you, like
support. So like my mom is like my main support system. She's like I told you already, my mom is my ride or die.
yeah.
So I have family and friends that support me in all different type of ways. Like even with things like needing a break, like or keeping the kids, or do I have family members who actively like help with those type of things. So I'm not like doing everything on my own, like in that sense, but like majority of the time it's me functioning on my own. But I do have the support of like family members, and I don't do friends for real. I got like same friends since like second grade. So in that aspect, family really helps me out. Yeah.
Word. So, for someone who's interested, how do they play the support role for you?
Who's interested? Yep. How do they play support?
When it comes to love.
Interesting questions, huh?
When it comes to love.
When it comes to love, what you mean?
Like someone who wants to be with you, or someone who is interested with you. Like how with
interested in me, my love language is acts of service.
Okay.
Help me mop a floor in the shop. Help me pack an order. Okay. You know, we got to bag these products up. Help me with these products. Like that's help. Like you said, how can help me? If you're gonna help me, help me.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the thing too. It's hard dating in general as an entrepreneur because a lot of people don't understand. Like even your businesses are like babies. So it's like even when I'm off work, I'm answering emails. You know what I'm saying? Like responding to people who call, packing orders, redoing stuff on my Etsy shop. I'm right now working on my website. Like you're consistently working, and they have to have an entrepreneurial like mindset in order to understand like the time that you give to your businesses. Because a lot of times people feel like I gotta pencil myself in just to see you, and it's kind of like, yeah, you do. Like I got a whole schedule for work, and I got kids, my business. Kind of gotta pencil yourself in, like get in when you fit in, you know.
Yeah. Understood. So does the preference go for someone who is in that same entrepreneur lifestyle? Do you prefer that or?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say it's like I would say yes, and because it comes with a different type of mindset. Entrepreneurs typically come with like a grind mentality. Like they figure things out. They're problem solvers. So they understand you a lot. It's a lot easier to understand you, or even when it comes to business, and you have to like sometimes you have to take risks with certain things. Like as an entrepreneur, they respect it more than a person who's only worked a 9 to 5 and like their concept of security is one thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like yeah. Dating an entrepreneur, just like I prefer to date people with children. You have at least one. Because they understand what it's like to have a child. Like dating people who don't have kids, they don't really get what it's like to be a parent. Like they understand, but they don't get it. It's the same thing. Like I would prefer to date an entrepreneur or someone who at least understands or respects what comes along with it.
But see, here's my thing with that, right? And which I completely agree. But I think the risk in it is the competition level, right? Because some people, and I say this because some people I've seen couples get together who are both entrepreneurs, and it's instead of it working together, it's like, all right, well, I'm trying to get my feet off the ground, you trying to get your feet off the ground, and it doesn't necessarily complement each other all the time. So it's like
it's because they didn't sit and have that business meeting I discussed earlier.
Gotcha.
Relationships are business.
Gotcha.
Which one is going to be more beneficial for us right now? Like if your business right now is going to bring in the money that can help possibly take my business off, then I'm going to help you. What makes sense for us right now? We both can help each other. Like I don't think it ever should be a competition between two people who are entrepreneurs in a relationship. Like no, it shouldn't be competition. If anything, we need to be figuring out how we can work together.
Could there ever be?
I was about to be petty.
Wow,
I was about to say a joke and be petty. Like if he has a radio station and you can get the shirts designed for him, create the logo, you can create the pitch for how you can market people. It's tons of ways to it's tons of ways to work together.
Talk your shit. Talk your shit.
You laugh about it now, though, because you tons of ways they can work together. Never should be competition.
Agree. Just like, if there was a shop opening and he went on Facebook Live, saying, hey, go support. You know what I'm saying? It works hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
What I'm saying? There it is. So, speaking of which, I do want to ask you about that. The Blue Now, right?
Yes.
So, I don't want to say what happened.
No, you can say what happened. I went into
happened?
business with my cousin, and at the time, it was hard for me to manage a salon in that location. Traffic in Old Town Petersburg is not the best, honestly. Like, so if you notice, it's a quick turnaround with a lot of businesses down here because the traffic is not here. So you have some businesses that stay long. Hair salons, everybody need their hair done. We're gonna be here forever.
Yeah.
But in terms of like clothing stores and in regards to like some of these antique shops and things, even restaurants down here, the turnaround process is shot. So we tried it. It didn't work. It wasn't profitable. We stopped, and then that's when I opened the Vibe Hive. So I took the same space and I turned it into the Vibe Hive to create a space for people to come and like we can have our book clubs. I sold my spiritual products and all those things. And yeah, I did that up until like right before like it was like around the pandemic time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Word. I mean, that took a lot of confidence and a lot of like dope stuff to happen to get that even started. Yeah, that was the hours and hours that you were putting into it, like that right there. Yeah. So I mean, commend you, because I mean that even that industry, like retail, it's not easy.
No.
So tarot card readings. Does that like talk about how'd you get into tarot card reading? And
honestly, I don't even remember. I don't remember how I got into tarot readings or tarot cards. I really don't even remember how I got into it. I'm not gonna lie. I really don't remember. I know I got to oracle cards first because I was scared of tarot cards. I was like, ooh, tarot cards might get possessed. It's the devil. And then it had oracle cards. They had like angel oracle decks. And they were saying stuff like all these positive affirmational things. I'm like, oh, these aren't that bad. And that I don't really remember what got me into it, but I started off with oracle cards and then I got into tarot cards. But then once I got into tarot, it's a cool thing though, because the tarot cards is basically explaining the journey of life from beginning to end. When you go through the cards, and then when you get into like numerology and things of that nature, all of that plays into like what the cards actually mean. They have the elements, like each suit represents a certain element in nature. Like it's cool when you get into it, like the tarot card thing or whatever. But yeah, I don't even remember how I got into it, but I started with oracle cards.
So that's, I mean, because that seems so scary to me as an outside guy looking in. Because I mean, you're literally looking at people's fate.
No, it's not. Okay, when I look at tarot cards, have you ever heard of like EMF or electric magnetic fields that humans have, or anything that's living has, or whatever, right? So when you're 10 to 30 feet to a person, like you could be in their personal bubble or energy field. And some people are sensitive enough to read energy. The same way when you walk into a room and the energy's off, you be like, ooh, like I can feel the tension in the room. It's the same concept. So divination in general, not just tarot cards. You can use rocks and sticks. Some people throw bones, quote unquote, or some people use coins, or I Chi, they have the coins and they also have the sticks. Like there's so many different forms of divination or system. Even flipping a coin, a yes or no, is a form of divination. It's just picking up on frequency and energy. So when I pull cards, I normally ask a person to like cut the deck. They put their energy on the cards. And literally when I pull the cards, it's just picking up on your energy and telling a story. And I can't explain it, but it's nothing spooky about it. Like the death card could mean literal death, but it normally means like the ending of a process, like something coming to an end, or like you have the devil card. But when you look at it, it's like the lover's card reversed. It's like the lover's card with chains around their neck and things of that nature, representing like temptation, or, you know what I'm saying, certain things that deal with that aspect of the devil, quote unquote. So it's like, yeah, it's not what people, I feel like it's not what people think. It's not spooky at all. It ties a lot like psychology and how people think and things of that nature too. Like all of this stuff is spiritual stuff. So I love spirituality. To me, it ties into science, like psychology, all that stuff. Like it ties into it.
So how can people like sign up or, get the tarot card reading, or,
Well, I have an Etsy shop. So on my Etsy shop, you can actually order a tarot reading. And I do it that way through Etsy. On my Instagram, sometimes people will DM me and we'll do it that way. I'm trying to, my website should be up by next month. So that way I can have my actual services on my website separate from my products on Etsy.
Okay, cool. So at this point in life, what would this Amber say to young Amber right now? What kind of advice would you give to her?
The advice I would give her is do away with self-doubts. Away with perfection. I'm still struggling with these things. Perfectionism. I've always been the type of person that just jumps out the window and like follows my heart. So I would like, that's always been me, but I would have been even more aggressive with chasing my dreams and like not being afraid. Like fear of what people would think and fear of how I would be perceived has stopped me from doing a lot of things. And it's crazy because like right now I'm in a space where a lot of the things that I was afraid to do or I was trying to do perfect and I didn't get a chance to do, like the opportunity is literally coming back full circle and landing in my lap to do again. For example, my music, like things like that. So it's just like, yeah, like don't be afraid. Like jump out. Could you jump out one window, jump out two more, and like it's gonna be okay.
Word. So we got a question from someone who's viewing. Shout out to Candace Donald. She says, what's the difference between an oracle and a tarot deck?
The difference is oracle decks can have as many cards as they want to have. Like you can make an oracle deck with any type of card, any type of meaning. You can have 14, you can have 103. But tarot cards is I feel like I'm still right now. I believe 78 cards in the tarot deck, and there is the same amount of cards, and all the cards are the same. No matter what deck you get, the cards are going to be the same. So it's like think about a playing deck. Some people read tarot with playing cards. So yeah, it's always going to be the same cards. Oracle decks are customized to however the creator wanted it to be. Like I got oracle decks for like herbs, oracle decks for like different deities. I got oracle decks for all types of stuff. But the tarot cards, you're going to have the same cards no matter what deck you get. That's the difference. And tarot is oracle cards to me tend to be love and light, like real positive, like nothing's wrong with that. But I feel like tarot sometimes can get gritty because you have those cards in there that are kind of like the Tower, which is everything falling apart. You know what I'm saying? This and the third, or Death card, or you have these cards that represent so many like the human emotions. You know what I'm saying? So it's easier. It's more in depth. Like the reading is more specific with tarot. Like tarot is more specific. Oracle is kind of like general, unless you have a deck that's a super cool deck. I've had some decks that are like, yo, this is like a dope deck. Like I would use this over tarot deck. But yeah.
So do you do your own readings on the daily?
No, I don't. I try not to because I feel like when you read on yourself, sometimes you end up pulling up what you want to see, not necessarily what you need to see. What she say? Okay, I have an oracle deck because it was super cute, and I kept saying by me. I thought, okay, for decorations on my dress. Yeah, I mean nothing's wrong with it. I wanted to do my this video downstairs in my studio space, but it's in the basement, so you can like hear the plumbing, like somebody flush. I was like, this could be a ghetto live. I'm not about to do that. So I came up to the salon. I'm in the salon now, but I have like probably about 100 decks. Like I collect them because I love the artwork. And remember I was telling you about the psychology of it, like the imagery on the cards, like especially when you buy from independent artists and like they're trying to portray what the card means through art, is like you can get so much information just from the image on the card. And so it's like you're looking at, like, you look at a painting and you in a museum and you're like, oh, I see this, I see that. Like the cards literally do that and speak to you in that type of way. So I think that's super cool. Like I love tarot cards and oracle cards, like especially independent artists. Like I paid like over $100 for a deck because the artist had like the work was just so good. It's like, I just could look at these pictures all day. Like they're that good. Yes.
Okay. I've always been curious about, we came up when Miss Cleo on the
On the
commercial.
now.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Then it was like, she was faking it from what they say. But
I
it's
mean,
like,
but I'll say this. I feel like right now I'm torn between that too. Right now, spirituality to me is being like mass produced or pumped out to like people in a sense that like I think it's a good thing that people are opening their minds to other possibilities, but it's like trendy. And it's like, dang, I was into this when it wasn't cool.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't cool when I cut off my hair in high school and I went on this journey and I was doing like this stuff wasn't cool. And now it's like, oh, everybody wants to burn sage and all these things. And it's like, but that's why for me, I'm more about education. Like I said, science and spirituality, because a lot of times people don't even know how these herbs and things work or certain concepts with energy. For instance, sage. People burn sage and say, ooh, it removes the negative energy. Sage disperses energy outward. That's what it does. But people will burn sage in a room. The room's now empty and anything can come in. What did you fill the space with once you remove whatever you remove? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like it's, people just get into things without understanding really what it is. And it's like, people have to learn. I have to learn. I've opened up a couple of portals and had to figure out how to close them myself. Like we've done some things, but at the same time, it's just like, it's so trendy now. I feel like it's almost dangerous in a sense too, because it's like, I struggle even with putting a price on my services because I feel like I just genuinely want to help people. But then it's like, I could make a spiritual bath to help. They call it jinx removal, but it's really just removing negative energy off your body that's causing blockages. You can use bitter herbs. It's herbs that do different things spiritually and things of that nature. But like I charge $17 for mine, but somebody have a bag half the size of mine charging $58. And I'll be thinking people charge your work, charge what you want, but it's like I see people that sell your product and you don't even understand how it works. Put it that way. Take this bath and it's gonna help get the negative energy off of you or this, that, and the third, but they're not explaining to you why is it working? How does it work? Like, I'm not in the business of trapping people into needing my services. I want to show people how to do so that way they can do for themselves. Like, you don't have to come to me. Like, I hope I'm making sense. Same concept in church. You go to church and with the hopes that I'm going to learn from this person. Yeah. So that I can do for myself. Not me relying on pastor to always read a verse or always And so when it comes to spirituality, that's where I'm struggling. I'm torn in that space because I see too much of that. People doing tarot readings just to take people money, or people doing even tarot readings sometimes and not giving them solutions to like how they can overcome whatever that obstacle is. Like sometimes people need guidance. Okay, you done told me this, but now what do I need to do? But people just taking people money. And then sometimes I see that people come to spiritualists because they want a quick fix, but spirituality is never a quick fix. Like you can't come get one tarot reading and think that fixes all your problems, or take one spiritual bath and feel like that fixes all your problems. And you have to change your habits. The same way you had that spirit attached to you, if you go out here doing the same negative things you were doing, the same thing's going to happen. But like you have to make change. Like you can't. Spirituality is about growth. It's about change. And people want, whether they go to church, whether they come to me, people want quick fixes, and there's no quick fix for the soul.
I mean, can you have both though? Can you be deep in a religion and still have spirituality?
I would say this: anybody who practices folk magic, particularly hoodoo or root work, long story short, it's like embedded in the Bible. Like you can't do root work or hoodoo without the Bible. If they're saying they're doing it without the Bible, they ain't doing it. So a lot of times you got these verses that your grandmama and them use, and they do certain stuff. What did my friend just said his grandmama did? He was called brick dust and all this other stuff. I'm like, all that stuff is dealing with hoodoo, like taking herbs and doing certain stuff, salts and doing certain stuff. Like my grandmama used to have all these oil lamps in her house. I don't know why she had it, but then when I got into hoodoo and I'm researching it, like you can actually, instead of lighting a candle, people would light the lamp. The oil lamps and stuff like that, or people eating their black eyed peas and stuff on New Year's Eve. That's a hoodoo tradition representing money, greens representing money, coins, prosperity, all of that. It's like a prosperity ritual. But we black folk, we just doing it because that's what we was told to do, and we don't understand where these things come from. So a lot of the black traditions that we have, or superstitions that we have, is rooted in things like hoodoo or root work and things of that nature. But we don't know. We just do it because somebody told us to do it.
Does communion fall into that a little bit too? No?
No. Drinking of the blood and eating of the flesh is strictly Christian.
because it'd be funny because it's like I'd have been to certain churches where, you know, people look down and they talk about, oh, we don't support witchcraft and shit like that, you know what I'm saying, at this church. And then it's like, you eating the body of Christ and drinking his blood, so does that not count?
One person gave the analogy and it was the best. It was like, if you took everybody in a black church and put them in the middle of the woods and they was playing them drums and jumping around and shaking and falling out with the Holy Spirit and doing like, they would look just like the people in Africa at a bimbe, or like, you know what I'm saying, like a spiritual ceremony. You would look the same. Like, we're doing the same thing, calling it a different name. But what I love about spirituality in general is if you research other cultures, like remember when I equated Reiki to healing of the hands, right? We're doing the same thing and we're just calling it different names. Like, every culture that I come across has one supreme deity, that's the overall God, and then they may have angels, or they may have like the Orisha, or they may have like elementals underneath that supreme being, but in every culture it's the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So it's like we're sitting, we're fighting, we're arguing about what's right and what's wrong, or what's witchcraft, but it's like the Bible's talking about people walking on water, turning water into wine, necromancy, bringing back the dead. Like, we talking about all of these things. They're talking about casting lots, divination. We're talking about the breastplate of Aaron had the crystals in it for each tribe. Like, we talking about all these things. I could list herbs. It took frankincense and myrrh to Jesus at birth. Some people say, oh, because it was rare. No, it helps with postpartum issues. Like, most witches and things of that nature, quote unquote, are like healers who work with herbs. Like, and this is the concept, like, everything that has a spirit has a purpose.
Yep.
So any living thing every living thing has a spirit, and every spirit has a purpose. So to think that like herbs are evil, or to think that burning sage is like satanic and things, it's like, where does this stuff come from? Like, in the Bible, they talk about using hyssop to cleanse, spiritually cleanse and purify. So we know that these things in nature were given to us. They have purposes. They have energy and frequency. It baffles me. It just baffles me. It just baffles me. Because I feel like the Bible is full of witchcraft. Specifically, the book of Psalms is used for people who practice, like, you can call it hoodoo witchcraft. The book of Psalms, like, you can literally look it up. They have a psalm for everything. Psalms for if you want to do something against your enemy. Psalms for this. The Bible is filled with like spells. But it's like, because words cast energy, words create. Yeah, so when you read those words, like, you're creating. And so it's like, do people not understand like how the Bible is powerful? Like, it really is, but we're doing the same thing. Whether you're over here or whether you're over there, we're all doing the same thing, calling it different names, and we're fighting about who's right and who's wrong.
Word.
And ain't none of this real. We stuck in the matrix. Like, the system is not even real. It's crazy out here.
Word. So, you know, I need to get on this. I need to get more educated on this sage thing, because I mean, I just been boiling fabuloso. So I mean,
no,
I need
you don't even have to think about it. You don't have to use sage. Like, there's so many herbs that you can use, like, for spiritual purposes. You don't have to use sage. Like, there's so many other things you can use. So I think to be caught up on the mainstream stuff, that's what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, like, I was in Spencer's and saw sage next to like a dildo, and I was like, what? This is what we're doing now? Wow, like, that's really what's going on. It's like, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy. Crazy.
Because I guess spirits got needs too.
Listen, it's just wild out here, because it's like I told you, it's trendy. Spirituality is trendy. People don't want to do the real work though. People want to learn about astrology, even astrology. People want to talk about, oh, you a Gemini, you this. It's like, it's so much into astrology. Yep. Like, I don't care what your sun sign is. Tell me what your Venus is. Tell me how you love. Let me see how you love. Tell me what Mars is. How you take action. Mercury. How you communicate. Let's go through your whole chart and see. But people just be so surface level with things, and it's just like, it makes my butt itch. It's like, oof. Like, people don't really want to know for real. They just think it's cute. It's trendy.
So do you think people are right by finding their partners or finding love strictly through zodiacs and being like, oh, I want to meet a whatever is compatible with?
I would say people need to live and do what's best for them. I would say that astrology can help you gain a better understanding of like relationships and the dynamic between you and other people. But I also believe that your environment and the people that you're around plays a part on things too. So like, for instance, a lot of things in my chart from when I was younger, I've grown out of. So somebody could read my birth chart and see certain aspects and say, I don't like that about her. because she might be, this way, or she might gossip, or she may, my chart say be manipulative and things of that nature. But it's like I've grown out of those traits and things. Like I've learned to be transparent because I've seen where it gets me to try to do those things. So you can't look at a birth chart by itself and just say it won't work or will work, but it can tell you how well, like, the chances are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, people grow. Like, a birth chart isn't the end all be all. To me, the birth chart tells you you have a weak ankle. So since you know that you have a weak ankle, you need to do X, Y, and Z. So if you work on X, Y, and Z, somebody can look at your birth chart and say, you got a weak ankle. But it's like, I saw that was weak, and I done worked on it.
Right.
And I ain't got that no more.
Right.
So you can't just look at a birth chart and think exactly what a person's gonna be, because people work through things, and sometimes people have other life experiences that may change how they view or how they do certain things that may reflect in their birth chart.
Word. And so you do the vlogging with this as well? For
like,
you do vlogging with this? Or would
no,
you ever?
I honestly listen. So I set the goal to start my podcast on 11/11. Okay. It's A Truth with Adair.
Okay.
And that's my goal, because I'm like, I need to talk to people and get this out. People ask questions, and like, I'm answering all this stuff through DMs and stuff like that. And I'm like, I need to just actually create like a platform where we can, whatever topics they want to talk about, we can talk about it, or spiritual topics that are on my mind, I can just get the information out and work that way. So I'm working on it. The goal is by 11/11 to have my podcast out, A Truth with Adair.
That's dope. And 11/11 is a very lucky number. I like that. Okay. All right. Cool.
I got it tatted, so it's real.
So, in closing of this, if you can give all of our people who's watching information where they can follow you, where they can book appointments, where they can support everything you got going on.
So with my salon, you can it's Adair's _BTH on Instagram. If you go there, my link in the bio, you can go to my style sheet. You can see my services, my prices, pictures, reviews, all of that good stuff. In regards to my spiritual services, you can go to _Adair. That's THATS_ADAIR on IG, on Instagram. And I believe in the link to that in the bio, it'll take you to my Etsy shop. My Etsy shop is Belle Adair. And then my personal IG is Beauty Adair, BEUDI _ADAIR. And that's where you can find me, you guys.
Right.
And then, and I'll let y'all know once I'm launching the podcast and that stuff. I'll give y'all all the information.
Yeah. Please do, because I'm definitely tuning in.
And the website too. I've had my website for 2 years, and I have been scared to put it out. Due to perfectionism.
What's the
I said because it wasn't perfect. I'm working on that though. Like not trying to be a perfectionist.
That's it. That's a lot to manage.
What you said? Do people ever call you a witch?
Yeah.
People have said that to me because I don't care about being called a witch. I've been called everything. I have though. I don't look at witch as a negative thing. I do not look at it as a negative thing. People gonna call you what they want to call you. If they want to call you a witch because of your premonitions, to me, what's the difference between you having premonitions and like altar call at church, and you have a prophet coming who prophesies to you and tell you the future? It's the same thing. It's just that one isn't in the church or religion, and the other, one is and one isn't, but God still gave you the ability to see. I have dreams and visions myself. And sometimes I feel when I call people and tell them, I'm like, ooh, this sounds crazy. Do I tell them this? I tell them they can take it or they can leave it. And it is what it is. But I don't care if people call me a witch. I tell my son told me, I told him I'm a witch. Tell your friends in school I'm a witch. I don't know I'm a witch. I don't care. Like, no. I don't care. Call me a healer, call me a witch, call me whatever. Just know that I'm out here helping people. And I got reviews on Etsy to prove it. I do though.
Talk your shit. Well, I do appreciate this. This is a great interview. And before we go, I do have to say to everybody that's watching this, ladies and gentlemen, there would honestly be a big delay, if not no comedian Mike J, if it wasn't for this woman right here. So, this lady, uh, let me get a black backstory to this, because I was at a point where I didn't think a lot of people believed in me, right? You know, not to mention that I was experiencing some health issues with my heart, things like that. So, you know, to meet this woman and she believed in me and pushed me, and you know, even took it to a next level, creating kinfolk designs, t-shirts, something I had never thought of, you know, just, you know, us going to an open mic, you know, just comedy, the support, you know, just when I thought, and I was in my head a lot, you know, just thinking, don't nobody care about me, don't nobody will support me, but this lady truly, genuinely put pedal to the metal and really helped me be who I am today. So the purpose of this interview, you know, as I tell people who I interview, is that if you're on this, it's because I believe in you. It's because I respect you. It's because I got love for you. It's because I, you know, support, and because that, you know, it's without you, this would not be possible. So I just had to say that to say thank you, and thank you for all that you've done for me. So you really helped me grow up, and you really helped me out, and you gave me genuine love. So I can honestly say I'm blessed and thankful for that. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, that was so sweet. You know what's crazy though? I know we got to get off live. I was like, how is this interview gonna go? I was like, the last time I talked to him, I was like, how is this interview about to go? It went well though. I enjoyed it a lot though. And you know what? It really was good for me to do this, because like I said, I've been battling with myself with all the things that I want to do, because like I'm very camera shy in real life for real. I make videos and I come off like photogenic, and you know, I record well and things of that nature. But on the inside is a lot of insecurities on like how people will perceive me, or you know what I'm saying, things of that nature. So this actually was fun. Like it was fun, and it gave me like a boost of confidence to just go ahead and like just do what I said I wanted to do. So I appreciate you, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity to like break this ice for myself.
Well, I appreciate that. And you did a great job. You did a fabulous job. So definitely a classic here, ladies and gentlemen. So if you know anybody who missed this, share this live and tell them run it back. All right. This will also be posted on our YouTube page under the Blacktop TV. But again, thank you so much for doing this. This is definitely my favorite.
Oh,
so I appreciate it.
Okay.
Word. And ladies and gentlemen, please go support this young lady, okay? She got great stuff for you. On behalf of Miss Adair, my name is Mike J. Always reminding you to be blessed, not stressed or caught up in any mess. All right, these are words to live by. I hope and pray that you live by them daily. We are out of this bitch. Good night.